The story begins with our bullied protagonist crying in front of two men as they were taking pictures of them as he made a pose while being naked. This is the introduction of our MC who is suffering from every angle of his life. As he cries in shame and pain, the bullied keep making fun of himself and they leave him. During the gym class he would be dragged by the pieces of trash and they were treated him like a punching bag. During lunchtime they would make his food fix with disgusting sweating water. And they would make him pose in toilet while being naked. As we see the terrible human being make fun of himself and they all have a phone in their hand to keep taking picture of our MC. On 80 he decided to take the most painful step of his life. As he grabbed his cloth he decided to make a decision that no one ever take in their life. Just then he was trying to end his life. A strange heavenly portal open and a beautiful girl emerges. As she float and land she had a beautiful golden hair. Without wasting any time she greet him and introducing herself to be a queen from heaven. She tells him to cooperate with her. As she sees what our MC trying to do they both accordingly see each other. As Heaven Queen apologized for appearing out of nowhere she was saying all of this and he end up replying that it is fine. She explained whatever you're doing is not fine. And she leans over and tries to kiss him. As he blushes he asks who you are? She introducing herself, my name is Haniel, a queen from heaven. As she say this she adds she would help him to kill the devil. As he heard this he was completely in shock and say, there are tons of demons in the world. So we always looking for people who can fight. Further she said good people like you who have dormant talent we need. As his eyes widen he assured that he should run away. He looks around, see perhaps she is talking to someone else and he was completely in shock. As immediately Haniel grabbed his hand and assured this is not just a dream. As he joked back she start to make his face touch to confirm that he is not dreaming. However as he touches her he was crying while saying do you believe me? With concerned voice she asked is anything wrong with you and he tell he would gladly take the responsibility. As he calmed down he tells her that the first time someone was this kind to me. This is my first time being relied on. I am so happy. As she looks around the house and also checks his condition she hugs him letting him know that he is not alone. However she hugged him she immediately detects someone. And explained it's a demon. She looks at him and asks if he take care of him. And with a stuttering voice he tells that sure he would do that for sure. She asks him to hold her hands and she says few word in sequence and instantly energy started to pass in and out from his body and in the next instant he completely changes and a big sword was in his hand. As he was surprised and speechless he couldn't believe that everything was real and he asks if everyone else could see this outfit. She tells him that no one else can see him or his outfit. As he goes outside to check on the demon he sees a horrifying and dangerous looking demon hovering over someone. The demon had a bunny head and a face and all around it were sharp, thin fingers and nails. The person it was hovering next to was none other than Sada, the person who has been intensely bullying him for the past months, and the one who made him hopeless in life. As Haniel tells him to attack or the person would die, he starts to remember all the terrible things that Sada has done to him. And he questions if this is what he would like to do. All the time that he stomped on his happiness and drove him to the point of no return. Deep down he was fighting himself. And moments later, he readies himself to attack and save him. With a mature tone, he reminds himself that the past doesn't matter anymore and he must do this. As he was about to go, Sada on the other hand mutters something and in the next instant he slices the hideous demon in half with ease. And both Haniel and Shu were left speechless. Sada himself was a helper of heaven who had powers to defeat demons. But he was much more powerful than Shu. As he questioned everything he dashes and far from their home. Puru was sitting down questioning everything and asked about his power. He asked if a person needs to be good to be able to use the power and she agrees with him and tells him that Sada got his power around 1 year ago. However, his messenger died 3 months ago. Immediately, he remembers that he started to join the bullies around 3 months ago as well. It was also around that time where Sada started to rain hell on Shu. In a cold voice he tells her, so what? He asks if it is right to bully others if you are having a hard time. With a sad voice, he tells her how Sada is wrong to take out his anger on others to make himself feel better. And he started to remember all the people in his life who did this to him and stomped on him to feel better about themselves, his classmates, his own mother, and the biggest bully of them, Sada. As he feels that he doesn't belong anywhere, Haniel interrupts him and tells him to just run away. He freezes for a second and asks what she meant by that and she starts explaining how it is better for him to just run away somewhere else and start over once more. He starts to pressure and explains these things to him. She brings out her hand and urges him to just go. Now this was a chance for sure to start a new life for himself and without any hesitation he grabs onto her hand. However, fate had something else planned for them. And from the side, Sada and 2 other bullies recognize him and their whole world was about to crumble. They started to call out to him. And Heel on the other hand kept screaming for him to run away. As he was actually going to run from the back, the useless piece of trash grabs onto him and laughs at his attempt to run away. As Haniel herself started to throw combinations at them, it didn't do anything to them and she started to scream for help. As they start to drag him away, poor Haniel was completely helpless there and cries how she couldn't even get help from heaven. On the other side, the bullies dragged him to a toilet and with a cold voice, they order him to drink the disgusting water from the toilet. As it was too gross to even explain, poor Haniel runs over to see for herself. As tears flowed from his eyes, he asks Sada why he has been doing this to him. He shouts at him and tells him how he has the heaven's power and still belittles others and makes their life harder. For a minute, Sada couldn't believe that he said heaven's power. And as Sada's friends started to question what heaven's power is, Sada grabs his hair and in the next instant, he smashes Shu's head in the toilet seat. He didn't stop there. He pushed his head further into the disgusting water and this made it very hard for him to breathe. As poor Heen cried with a threatening voice, Sada tells him to know his place and kept pushing him inside the seat with brute force. As he was being shown no mercy and Sada was actually ready to kill him, his bully started to record. With a weak voice she mutters, "Awaken." As he says this, the entire toilet blasts. She transforms and grabs onto his sword. As he looked around for him, the bullies themselves couldn't find him and asked if he had disappeared or something.